everybody, it's Becky from PowerToolsWithThread.com. That's my blog. I will link to it in the description box below. Somebody suggested that I do that, so I will. Today I am embroidering a in the hoop zipper pouch. Well, that's going to be the end project, but on the front of the zipper pouch I want to put some little gnomes. These guys I got from urbanthreads.com since they're taking selfies, and that zipper pouch is going to be a protective pouch for the camera that I'm talking to now, which is taking one big selfie on my YouTube channel. So I thought that the gnomes would be real cute. A lot of you have asked me about how to work your machine. Y'all, that's really hard to do, okay? First of all, I have only ever embroidered on a Brother machine. Brother and Baby Lock are identical, and so same company. But they make different versions of machines. And so mine is a Brother Quattro, and I'm going to show you how I do this. I would, however, I mean, if you have a Bernina or you have a Pfaff, y'all, the processes are all the same. The buttons might be a little bit different, but the processes are the same. And so, you know, you can watch this if you don't have a Brother or a Bernina. A Brother or a Baby Lock. You can watch this and just get an idea of the process that I went through, that I go through to make this happen. Also, a Brother machine is not a Brother machine is not a Brother machine, okay? There are embroidery machines that have their maximum size for a design is 4x4, or the maximum size is a 5x7, which means you can size down to 4x4 designs that fit in a 4x4 hoop, but you can't size past 5x7, which I believe is 180 by 130 millimeters. As you go up in machine cost, in the price of the machine, you will find bigger and bigger hoops. Like the hoop I'm using, my project is a 6x10, and I'm using a 9x14 hoop. I got this machine off Craigslist for $3,500. When this started out, it was a $10,000 machine, maybe more. So I highly encourage you to check used machines. You know, I started with a Brother PE 770, which was just a 5x7, and it had a little black and white screen on it. Regardless of whether you have a littler machine, like if you have a Brother PE 770 or smaller, and the icons are all the same. They're the same. There might be more icons, meaning, you know, the pictures that you have to press to make things work. There'll be more icons on the bigger machines, but the pictures of the icons are the same. They're standard across, really kind of standard across the industry. Today I helped a friend of mine with a little quilting lesson. She had a Singer sewing machine, and it operated basically the same. You know, the button icons were about the same, and so I was pretty familiar with the machine just by sitting down with it, because the buttons were the same as what I have on my Brother. You get to Husqvarna, you got a few other little things going on, but I don't sew with one of them. My aunt has one. Ooh, I had kind of a time figuring out how to do the bobbin on that. But anyway, so I want to show you guys what it is I do, what my process is. First of all, my hoop. Yeah, my pouch is only 6x10. I just lay the hoop down on a piece of fabric and cut around it. I don't measure, because in this project, the gnomes are going to be in the center of the project. Right now, I don't care if what happened to my, right now I don't care if my gnomes stitch out dead center over here or over here. It doesn't matter. I'll figure that out later, okay, when I go to cut it. So I have a piece of stabilizer in here. This is a cutaway stabilizer. It is a woven cutaway. It's pretty heavy duty. I think it's a scrap I had from an OESD event that I went to at All Brands Creative Sewing Center here in San Antonio. So, you know, I'm not one to waste scraps. I didn't make the project, but I kept the stuff. And I also starched it. And I used Mary Ellen's Best Press. I highly recommend, if you're going to start an embroidery thing and you're going to do anything, and this is a woven fabric, okay, I wouldn't starch a knit, obviously, but if you're going to do woven, you really need to starch it. And hear that? That's the right sound. There's also something called it's not a wrinkle test. It's some other kind of test where you should be able to push your finger up and you don't get any, it doesn't ripple, and you should push your finger to the side and it doesn't ripple. That's a good hoop. Okay, again, this is for a bag project. I ain't talking about clothes. That's a whole nother animal. You want to get that fabric pretty sturdy so it can take it. These gnomes, they're pretty dense. So that's another thing you have to think about when you do an embroidery project, is how dense is the design. This is pretty dense. It's not just outlines, okay? It's everything. It's a full fill, all right? So that's why I used a heavier stabilizer. Don't be afraid if you don't have heavy stabilizer, use 2 layers of your thin stuff. That works, okay? Plus, all of the stabilizer that's after I cut it away, it's going to be on the inside of the bag anyway, and the bag is lined so you won't even see what's going on. So let's get to stitching. So yesterday I put a video out where I showed you guys I'm going to hoop this here. Depending on your machine. So this machine hooks in by sliding this in and pressing this deal down right here, okay? It's got a little button. The PE 770 has one that is a clip-on, all right? You need to practice that and work with that. If it seems a little, on the 770, I only know this because I had one, if it seems a little tough to snap it in, it gets easier with time as time goes by. So on my Quattro, when I first turn it on, I have some choices. I have sewing, embroidery, embroidery edit, and Disney. Today I'm just doing embroidery. And back here, I have a thread stand with all of the colors that I need for my gnome design. They're all in numerical order, 1 through 10 back there. 11 and 14 are here, 12 is here, and I've got 13, 15, and 16. That's a lot of thread, you guys. Jeez. So, but Urban Threads is famous for that. That's where I got the design. So, if you just have a regular embroidery machine that doesn't do anything else, you just turn it on, okay? This does one or the other, so obviously you've got to change and pick one, all right? I'm going to pick embroidery. All right. This little symbol right here, this is universal. Every single computer, anything, that is the universal symbol for USB drive, okay? This is USB with a mouse, this is USB from your computer, and this is memory. It looks like a little pocket that's on the computer. This is how Brother does it, okay, and Baby Lock. If I say Brother, it applies to Baby Lock as well, okay? Over here on the side of the machine, okay, over here on the side of the machine, there's that universal symbol. I'm gonna use my little stick. There's the universal symbol for USB. There's USB with the mouse, and there is computer with the USB. So I'm gonna put my USB stick in here. And you can see it kind of lit up, so I know that it's working. Not all of them do that. Don't worry about it. Okay, now, so what I want to do is take my little stick, or I can use my finger, and touch the USB, and the little baby comes on. And you see that? Baby Lock does that too. And here is a list of all of the things that are on this stick. And there are my little gnomes right there. So I'm going to touch that. Okay. What this screen is telling me is, and here's something you need to pay attention to, okay? These gnomes are going to stitch out with their feet over to my left, all right? Their hats are to my right. If it's not going to fit that way, you can fix that by rotating it, all right? So yes, that's loaded in there now, and it tells you I need this color. And where it says teal green, it doesn't really mean that. I don't know if you can see it that close. It doesn't mean that. It means color number 1, okay? So I am gonna, and that is a teal green, but I'm gonna use color number 1. I want to show you how I do my threading here in a second, okay? So when it's loaded, there's a button here that says sewing, and you touch that. Oh, wait a while. Okay, this is going to allow you to do any editing in this screen that you want to. All right, you can do, you can change the size, you can rotate it, you can mirror it. There's all different things that you can do here, and I don't need to do anything with it because this is an easy one. I'm just going to let it stitch out where it is. Okay, if you want it to, like if you have the ability with a camera to look for a snowman, there's your little snowman. That's where you want to do that. Okay. So I'm good. I like it the way it is. I'm just going to hit return. No, I'm not. Nope. Cancel. See? I don't know what I'm doing. It looks like it's ready to go. I just need to get the thread in it. The way I do my threading, I don't have anything in here. I do have a brand new pre-wound bobbin that's in here. I'm going to take my thread color 1 up here, and the way I do this is I like to bring it through. This is just me personally, you guys. There's a thread guide that's up here on top of the, let me move my hand. There's a thread guide right here on the top of the machine, and this is to help make a bobbin. I like to run my thread through there if I'm using the thread tree, okay? And then to thread the machine, they're numbered. All right, so 1 is right here, and it tells me there's an arrow to go around this side of this silver little foot here. And 2, the arrow comes around. Every machine will have arrows, and every machine will tell you how to thread. So you go down. Now, your thread tension discs are right in here behind arrow number 2. I like, and it says number 3 to bring it down and around. I like to grab my thread and pull this and give it a little flossing. That tells me for sure that the thread got down inside the thread discs. Okay? And so 5, and I need to go to 6, which is right above the needle. And then 7 is a little thread cutter, and I bring it around. So on a Brother machine, it wraps around this little thread cutter. We have a little auto needle threader right here. Wish I could get you guys closer so you could see everything real good. We have a little needle threader right here. On the PE 770, you have a little button here. You just go pop, and it threads the needle for you. Sometimes you have to do it the old-fashioned way. You know, things happen. So I'm going to thread my needle. That's wonderful. That thing works perfect. First time, every time. So now all you have to do, okay, is put the foot down. See how that's red? That means it's not ready to sew. So all you need to do is put the foot down, and it turns green, and it's ready to go. Now, if I had really cared about where this is starting, I would put a target sticker on here, and I would nudge my needle around until it got to where exactly I wanted it to be. So I'm going to press start, and it's going to do it. Whoop, I shouldn't bump the camera. Sorry, guys. Oops. There it goes. We'll see you guys in a bit. So I wanted to show you guys some more of what I'm doing here, what you can look at on the screen and what it tells you. Let me bring you up. Let me show you. I'll use a little pointer here. This right here tells me that I'm on color 1 of 16. Can you see that? I'm on color 1 of 16. This color takes 6 minutes The entire design is going to take 56 minutes. Okay, time to change thread colors. Because see, it switched to 2 now. The next one's going to take 2 minutes. You add 2 to the 6 and that's 8 minutes. And so it keeps kind of a chronological thing to tell you how fast or how much more you have to go. That doesn't include the time it takes to change the threads. Okay, so the way I change my threads, because I'm basically kind of lazy, is I make a cut right here, and I take this thread and I put it back up into the little spring that holds my thread tails to keep it out of the way. Now I'm going to take thread number 2 from my tree, this thread tree. It's my dog, she's happy, she's barking. Okay, and I'm going to take the other one and tie a knot. All I'm going to do is put them together. Y'all, she's barking at nothing and I apologize, but I want to get this done. Okay. And I just tie them into a simple knot. Trim it a little bit, make my life easier. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just pulling this through, okay, to make sure I hit all the thread guides and whatnot. And I'm also going to, again, give it a little floss, make sure that's in there. Pull it up through the cutter and thread it again. Okay, and that's it. Put that down and go. Right here on the screen, it's going to show me what parts that it's going to cut, or it's going to show me exactly what it's sewing. And here I have a little crosshair. I don't know if you can see that, but I have a little crosshair and it shows me exactly where it's at. All right, we'll see you back here in a minute. Okay guys, time for another thread change. Time for thread number 3. And again, this is why I like to have my threads all set up in a row, ready to go. I'm going to take this tail, put it back up here. That's why I like these thread trees. They are just so easy to use. They just keep you organized. I'm not going to bring you guys along on every thread change. I just wanted to show you a couple of times how I do this. Okay. Cut that down a little bit. Pull it through. Get the knot through that last thread guide. Pull it up to number 7. Cut it off. Thread again. You're going to want to keep yourself a little trash can underneath your table to catch all your threads. And we're off and running. Now some machines, they want you to just take a couple of steps, hold on to that thread tail and then trim and bring the bobbin thread up and trim. I don't do that because that's all going to be hidden anyway. If you're doing something that the back of it needs to look nice, like on a shirt or a blouse or something, then yeah, you want to do that. Just like when you quilt, you want to pull up your bobbin thread, you know, let it lock itself off, and then you want to trim those, okay, up off the top. But in this case, all of the back stitching is going to be hidden, so I don't care. Okay guys, I had a thread break, and that happens all the time. Don't freak out about it, it's fine. So I got a little crying baby here that says check and rethread the upper thread, which I have done. And this is a brown that was supposed to be sewing some shoes. So let me close this. Now, depending on where the thread broke, you need to get back to. So there is a, let me see if I can get close enough for you guys to see. turn it down just a little. I can't go any lower. Let's see. There's a button here that has a needle with a plus or minus. I'm going to touch it. You normally want to back up when you have a thread break. You want to back up. First of all, let me thread the needle. When you have a thread break, you want to back up 5 or 10 stitches. Or I'm sorry, maybe 10 or 20. So I have -1, -10, -100, +1, +10, +100. I'm going to -10. That's not enough. I need to get back. The break happened right after the last cut back here. You guys can't see. Move this up. Okay. The break happened after this jump thread cut right back here. So I need to back up. I'm going to hit the -10 again, minus again. That, it looks like that's where it broke. So now I'm going to press 1 because I'm within 10 stitches of finding where it broke. Right there, that's where I need to start it. Hit close, put my foot down, and start. I don't know why it broke. It's not important. But I'm good to go. All right. So when you have a thread break, you need to back up anywhere from 10 to 20 stitches, figure out where it broke, and then start again. And if you overlap a couple, 5, 10 stitches, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. So here's something I want to point out to you guys. When you use a computer program, like I put these into Embroidery, change my thread colors to Madeira Neon or Poly Neon, Madeira Poly. The color list that it gave and came out with on these is nowhere near accurate. Okay, I don't know why it's not. But I went to, so like I'm on color 9 and it says silver and it's doing the beards right here, you can see for these little guys. Color 9 is super white. This is the thread list from the Urban Threads where I bought the pattern from. You always want to go by the thread list. Don't go by what the, if you put it into Embroidery, I put it into Embroidery so I could print it out, and I did a little thread list and whatnot, and I did all that in another video. But if you do that, just don't pay attention to that. Always go by this, okay? So number 9 is super white, which is beards, and number 10 is chrome, which is beard shading, okay? And you can tell where 10 is chrome, beard shading. 10 here is wisteria violet. Totally off. Totally wrong. Go with the thread list from the place where you bought the design. Okay guys, we are in the last minute. The outlining is always last. So this is turning out too cute. A lot of fun. I always love seeing the little baby then when it says finish sewing. Okay? So let's take it out of the machine. I was able to do this on a full bobbin. I still have about a quarter of a bobbin left. So my gnomes are finished. Aren't they adorable? And look. So there's no puckering. Very little. This is going to make a super cute little pouch. I went to the Victoria Quilt Guild in Victoria, Texas, and Jenny Doan was there from Missouri Star, and somebody asked her, what kind of machine should I buy? And she was talking about quilting, but the same goes for embroidery. She said, buy the most machine that you can afford where there is a service technician nearby. That is the best advice, you guys, and I highly, highly recommend, if you are thinking about getting an embroidery machine, or maybe you want to upgrade or something. I don't have anything against Bernina. I've never used Bernina or Pfaff or any of the others, but I will tell y'all, I've always used Brother, and Brother is, it's easy to get parts for. It's easy to get extra feet for. It's you can find a Brother technician just about everywhere. So I love this machine. I'm so glad I bought it. But anyway, look at my gnomes. Aren't they great? We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.